Elon Musk's Grok 4 just became the best AI model in the world, and that changes everything. For Tesla, SpaceX, XAI, this is the multiplier. This is a giant leap towards superintelligence, and it's not just about chatbots. It could accelerate not just Tesla's autonomy, Optimus bots, and dojo trading, but also new materials, new physics, product design, new businesses, and more. OpenAI was valued at $300 billion with the top model. What's XAI worth now with something even better? Today, we unpack why Grok 4 might be the most important tech leap of the year and how it can drive XAI past $500 billion and Tesla to $10 trillion. Brian Wang is a futurist thought leader and a popular science blogger with 1 million readers per month. His blog nextbigfuture.com is ranked #1 science news blog. It covers many disruptive technologies and trends. Welcome, Brian. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
This is like the biggest disruptive technology, the biggest trend. You've been following it closely. We've done multiple shows on this, but this was the big announcement, Grok 4. And you're going to tell us how that impacts Tesla and everything else that Elon is doing. Thank you, Brian.
So the huge thing is that everyone's talking about, the AI lead, robotaxi, but those are all subsets of AI. And if you have the best AI, and if it's doing what Elon and what other people are saying it is, better than all PhDs and everything, and being able to come up with new physics and new technology, that lead is the most important lead. It could even be more important than Tesla bot and robotaxi, because it's the super aspect of intelligence and the speed with which everything advances.
Yeah, I love it. I've been wanting to have this show with multiple people, but you specifically, you can explain and you can show us exactly, quantify it. Right. So let's get started with your deck here.
So it's impacting everything. The Grok 4 is going to integrate with Tesla, and we'll discuss that in the next slide. So there was a patent that was revealed by someone on X who discussed that Grok will be used to make even more training data, physics-based simulations for robotaxi and FSD. So, we all think about the 6 billion miles of data. But if you could suddenly multiply that with 600 billion miles, 6 trillion miles of simulated data, then you would get improvements. So that is something that, Tesla and XAI have a patent on, and it will be using Grok 4 for this. I haven't dug deep into the aspects of it, but it's just, if you have physics-based simulations that you can generate at, faster speed, because they already do that, where they simulate the cameras moving forward. And this will improve that capability.
And I think that this isn't just something that other AI models can just replicate, right? So the issue, Elon explained it, didn't he? He said that the problem is that they've run out of data. Everybody already has all the data that's out there. They've all grabbed the data from the internet. What they now need is real world data, right? The data, the video data from robots, from cars, because that will then teach you real physics. And if you have a Grok 4 wants to invent something, it needs to test it against real physics. But then if they can create these simulations, after, I guess it's a flywheel, right? Once you get the real physics, then you can truly get closest to real physics, and then you can then have the best simulations, right? Or do you think that other, like OpenAI, could just do these physics-based simulations and then they can leapfrog in terms of driving?
So it is something that there is a possibility that certainly if roll forward 10 years, everyone has super AI, everyone has super simulations, then the solving robotaxi would become trivial at that point. Yeah. So the question is, along the spectrum, where do these things go in? And I think it's because it's the race that Tesla has the lead with a lot of good real world data, that they can apply that to make the better simulations. But it is something that everyone else is competing for. Sam Altman has said that he could use these simulations and put his OpenAI into humanoid bots. He thinks he can solve robotaxi with it, but he's 2-3 years from now, he said, "Oh yeah, I'll do it. It'll be 2-3 years. I'll do this thing." NVIDIA has Isaac. I think it's Isaac World or Isaac Net, which is their name for the simulation that they use to do 100x faster, 1000x faster, many parallelizations. So everyone in the AI world is doing it, and it's a question of, if you have the leading model, if you have the leading simulations, if it's leading data, you're building upon, you're racing against everyone else, and you're
Yeah.
this, 2 days ago was a leap forward in continuing to push that lead.
Perfect. Great find with the patent. This shows you that it does matter, specifically how Grok 4 can help, in this case, FSD. Good.
Right.
Okay.
And then Elon said that the physics that they can do with Grok 4 is the best world-leading PhD. This is an actual PhD, Louis Bantala. He's in the San Francisco Bay Area. He has a startup. He also has some website that tracks and annotates research papers. He did have a PhD in the sun's effects on cosmic rays to a detector on the space station. So he is a real world physicist, PhD level. And he's saying he used Grok 4 to do a physics simulation of a SpaceX starship going from Earth to Mars. And he said it nailed it the first time on the return trip. So he has the credentials to say the physics in this is right. And he asked it the question and he said, yeah, results were good.
Yeah. And I've been seeing just in the last day, because they just released it, like you said, 2 days ago, one after another, all these scientists saying that Grok 4 is able to do it perfectly while others are not yet. So they have to still catch up to Grok 4 at some point, which is, I think in your tables before, they're months behind, if not longer. And then by that point, Grok is even Grok 5 and all that, right? So this is critical that they already way ahead. Mm-hmm.
Right. The next slide just had a bit more about Louis, just to show that, he did, a doctoral paper on this thing of space physics. He's the founder of the Fermat Library, a platform for researching all kinds of academic papers. He spends his time commenting about physics and math. His favorite paper is Feynman's derivation of the Schrodinger equation. So he is a super hardcore physics nerd, right? And he's using it for the advantage. Yeah.
So right now, he just said, okay, I did it. I validated. It knows its physics. But when will Grok 4, or maybe you have to wait till Grok 5, can actually invent new materials, new physics?
Right. Well, clearly that's the goal. Elon mentioned it in the call, that he thinks it might be able to do it at the end of this year. And he says for sure next year. So I would think that in the timeline they have, the multimodal version, handling video, pictures, and doing that. It already has some of those capabilities in there, the vision, understanding of pictures, but having it to be able to input and output pictures and video, I think that will matter for coming up with new materials and new things. To look at, let me show you some pictures of some materials. Let me show you some pictures of molecules. And then let's, brainstorm around it. I think that will be part of the thing. But it will be working with the researchers like, these PhD teams. And that is being done also by DeepMind, which we'll discuss in the next couple of slides about the visual aspect and about what DeepMind has done as well.
Okay.
So DeepMind has advanced physics. They were working for 3 years on some Navier-Stokes, probably an optimization of it. So they had some $1 million challenge. We want to make this key equation better. I think it's some engineering physics equation. And they had $1 million prize. And then a team, from I think Portugal and Google DeepMind were able to solve that problem. So the non-large language models or mixture of AIs with research teams, the DeepMind group, have been doing that for protein folding, and they're doing it for physics. So you need to have your best AIs collaborating with humans to push the frontiers faster and faster. So it has happened with DeepMind. They have several major achievements, but it's something that I think Grok 4, Grok 5 will be pulling ahead and making major contributions. And it'll be a lot of effort to collaborate, with it. That we see these PhD caliber researchers being inspired by and wanting to work with the Grok 4.
Yeah, so it's just proof that we're not just talking theoretical anymore.
Right.
These AIs can actually solve these problems that actually then become important for industry, technology, research, everything. They're now there. They're no longer. They're now superhuman now. So, like you said, by the end of this year or even next year, it's very likely that they're going to invent new materials, new physics, and I think that that's what's going to be. That's just going to change Tesla.
And SpaceX
think,
does a lot of alloys. Like for the
yeah,
Starship, they do different
yeah,
metals, different alloys. So
yeah.
Elon has top material scientists working for him. They
Like,
did
like,
that
like
for
one example could be like invent a new battery to truly invent, like, the whole BYD announcement. Oh, we can create an electric battery that takes only 5 minutes to fully, charge. That is very possible at this point. Yeah.
solve that dry cell problem, dry cathode problem, and help us make that better.
Or more importantly, solve it in a way that we can manufacture it at scale, because that's the real problem. I know Elon has said before, we have all these people explaining, oh, we got a new battery. But he said, what matters is, can you take that from the lab and actually turn it into a scalable battery production factory, right? A factory to produce these batteries. Yeah.
So another person used Grok 4 to create the simulation of the Earth,
Right.
but it had layers of clouds, sunlighting, the Earth and the Moon's rotations, other satellites around it, orbital inclinations. So the level of fidelity of these simulations is, and it had textures of the land and plants and stuff like that. So the level of capability that we're talking about is huge. And you can also see how they fit into things like games. So they're going to do video games, right? But you have like physics engines for certain games, like first-person shooter uses blah 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 physics engine, and now the physics engine is provided by it, and it's just a question of tuning how precise I want it. For a game, I want to diverge from it. For simulation, for models, I want to get as close as possible to reality. So it's something that applies to all of these things, to more materials, more physics, but also for entertainment, for games, for interactions.
Well, I thought this is actually the perfect example for, if you can already do this today with Grok 4, good 3D simulation of the Earth and all this cloud layer, sunlighting. Guess what? That's perfect for FSC.
Right.
That is perfect for FSC.
Yeah. So it's just and this is like 2 days into it. So this is the first people playing around with it and just like, oh, I just popped out an Earth simulation. I just popped out Earth, Mars, rocket mechanics, and that kind of thing. So
yeah. Can you speak a little bit, Brian? So this is Grok 4, which they released publicly, but they have Super Grok 4, right?
Grok Heavy.
What's that called? Grok Heavy, which is not just one agent, but multiple agents.
4 agents.
And they're going to release that too. But that is like the answers of that one is going to be even better than this, right?
Right. So I think they already have released it. It's $300 a month, $3,000 a year, so 10 times more cost. It uses a lot more resources, and so for certain really hard problems, it's worthwhile. Like there's been developers, because they released the API as well, so you can program with it. Previously, Grok 3 had a delay to the API, which was really annoying to developers. So that you can program with it right away now. Grok 4 Heavy is available for use. Developers are saying sometimes I don't need to have Grok 4 Heavy. It's the answers are slower and other stuff like that, so they prefer Grok 4. So whether you have like a Grok 4 Mini, a Grok 4, a Grok 4 Heavy, it's more based on your use case and your problem. Like when I need, it's like, do I always need to have a team of PhDs debating a problem? No, right? So it's, what do I need to do? And when do I need I got a really tough problem, let me pull in the team to really think about it, right? Versus, because if my problems are good enough for one PhD all the time, or even lower, then I don't need the overkill of a bunch of people discussing it.
All right, let's get to practical. What can this actually do for Tesla?
So I think it's clearly, with the FSD improvements, better robotaxi. It's also better user experience, because the voice version, which they demonstrate as well, will be in the cars. They're talking next week. So the transformation of the user experience for all products, will be like, we have had the taste of better and better voice communication, over the last, 5 years, Siri on to, better and better voice experience. And we know that a better voice experience, understanding by the machine and talking to us and back and forth, is a better experience. And for a car, for robotaxi, we've seen, okay, we're pushing buttons, we're turning dials and stuff like that. All that can go away by saying, I can talk to you on it. Maybe it's not all the time, but getting that more integrated where it can understand it. And if it also can understand hand signals and other gestures, intonations, then you can get to it doing exactly what you want when you want it. You also
Yeah.
don't need things like a safety monitor who's going to like pull over or stop. The fact
Yeah.
that, hey, there's no steering wheel, but I can tell it, hey, pull over, do this, do that, and have it understand is, just like if I'm riding with a human taxi driver,
I was going to say that. Yeah.
I can talk to him, say,
Yeah.
hey,
If you go, hey, volume, like volume,
right.
just do that. And
Yeah, air conditioner up. Yeah,
you
yeah.
would be driving and, there's a human front. They'll get what I'm saying. I don't
Right.
need to verbally say it. That's how intelligent this is. I know you've got a lot more to talk about how this impacts robotaxi and Tesla cars. But I wanted to mention that AI, Tesla and other companies, they're using AI not just in these obvious things. They're using it everywhere. So, for example, I think they've already implemented this one feature where if you phone Tesla's website or their phone number, you can get support for, let's say, Tesla insurance for those states that has Tesla insurance. They've replaced that all with AI. Not all of it, but, like the first phone tree, but it's so good. They've been implementing that all over Tesla's business, not just external for customers, but internal. And so this lead allows Tesla as a company to just get everything better: customer service, lower cost, how they create their own products and the process that they follow. All of that just get because they have access to the best AIs. And then if they gave them access to the tools, so the tool, it's not just ask the AI, get an answer, and then therefore I as an employee get better, essays and better documents I can create, PowerPoints. No. This is like you give them the actual tool to the actual software, and it's going into the brains of the organization, and it can find, it can spot issues that are happening faster, whatever. It's just that much better, right?
Right, because that was something that he mentioned, that they were going to give it access to tools. They made it a tool forward system where it's like, it would. They said, okay, I'm using Grok 4, and Grok 4 with tools could answer problems better. So like me using a calculator or Excel spreadsheet or something like that, or within a company, there's SAP, or there's these business intelligence things where I'm going to dig into the memory, the history of solved problems of the company, going to the documents. And they said they already had built, really good simulators, and that it would be able to tap into that. So basically it becomes, the seamlessness of it, where it's like an employee that's fully onboarded,
Yeah.
able to use everything that already exists in the company, is better than just some, super smart PhD Einstein sitting in a room that doesn't know how to use the tools. It's like, they're integrated in with the company.
Yeah.
And then they could then start changing the company to improve the tools. But first is use everything that we have, know everything that we know, so that you can push it forward. So that gives instant, complete context. Because currently, when you're prompting it, you're using all these tools to like, I need to give you the context. I need to tell you what I already know, so you don't go off the wrong track. But if you have complete context, and perfect context of like every work group discussion, then it's like I don't have to repeat everything over and over again. I don't let me prompt you with this and then put it in the books and do whatever. It's like I'm fully up to speed, and it's like talking to an experienced coworker that you are able to have shorthand. Oh yeah, we wait, that problem from last week. It's happening again. 2 months ago we had this thing, and now we have to solve it. So that integration it's a huge time saver. It's just like if I need to the difference between a dial-up phone modem from the 90s versus always on access, just getting rid of the lag, getting rid of the setup is a huge time frame where it's ready to go.
Yeah. One of the big features that I heard about recently is that, you know how the Tesla cars, it's all automated, it's all computerized, so they can actually diagnose itself, right? It knows an issue anywhere in the car. By the way, few other cars have that capability. And then Tesla service taps in to that car, and then they can tell you what the problem is with the car. And then they have to generate their reports, and then they have to explain to you, the customer, this is what we've fixed, this is what we need to work on, and here's all the things we did. And well, they used AI. They're doing that now, even before Grok 4. Tesla basically now just automatically takes the info in your car, automatically creates this report, shares it with you, and then one of the humans, service people, will review it just to make sure that it's accurate and it's exactly the way they want it to do. But so far, it's obviously helping them reduce their time because they used to have to type this up themselves, right?
Right.
Now it's automated. So the car itself is intelligent. Now you put an AI intelligence that can read the car. That can read every part of the car. What has happened and how it's going. Like, how much brakes do we have? How much oil, or not oil, battery degradation do we have? How are the tires doing? And then maybe even watch all the video that the car has been driving through. Understand that, and then do a report automatically, and then even go back in and fix it.
So the paperwork aspect of things, like certain things, like doctors have to see the patient, but then they have to write up the medical record, do all the things, or coordinate with nurses. That
automated.
Certain things that could take up 80% of what you're doing can suddenly just disappear, and you can just be focused on the value added portion of it.
All right, let's keep going. So if Grok 4 is integrated with Tesla cars next week, better robotaxi, no for the buttons, the passenger voice control. Okay. The expansion we already know now. They've announced this, right? That they're expanding in Austin. That's happening like on Sunday when we publish this video. They've already received permits to actually, that was valid, became true. Like, we actually saw the permits. They have the right now to test robotaxi in California. Arizona, we found out that they have that they've been that's where they've submitted a proposal for that, and then I guess you put Florida there as well
because there was a job posting for autopilot data collection in Florida as well. So it seems to be a hint that is likely going to Florida as well.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that again, the speed of improvement, the speed of adaptation means that what works in Austin can more readily, more quickly roll out to other places because any technical work, any other things could go a lot faster with the expansion. And certainly going across the United States, across the world, the fact that we have a Grok 4, a Grok 5, helping to smooth over those processes will make these expansions faster.
Can you imagine? Yeah, all the learnings that it took them to figure out how to launch a service in Texas. They can just use the AI to help them document it, to automate it, to
file the regulators, to do all the. I have to accumulate all this data and present it to you in a way, and I can interface it, make the reports just the way you want, so that the regulators are happy with a faster approval.
It's unbelievable.
So when does it impact the shares and the revenues? Because that's the thing. So I think definitely 2026. And then the question is how much in 2025? So in 2026, getting to a full robotaxi rollout, I think the odds increase with the Grok 4 and the Grok 5. The better voice interface and making that better and better, it could become like people say that when they had FSD, driver assist, or autopilot, they didn't want to go back to their old car. So if you have something where you can talk to it, like people who have your Alexa, your home voice assistant, and then when you go to places like a hotel or something that you don't have it,
doesn't have it.
You notice it. They say, hey, I wanted to ask that thing, and I can't do it. And here we'll have, a voice-enabled car that, also has other superior software. And I think that will be a selling feature. It's certainly in China, which is their tech-loving consumers. And then if not having this capability would be a disadvantage for others. Because they actually make purchases, like Xiaomi and other things, based upon the quality of that advanced UI. If you're a Ford or GM stuck with a decrepit interface, it will be something that will affect sales.
For sure. At this point, it's going to be so clear. So at this point, it's Elon's been saying, right? Like, we have a car, you have a car, Ford has a car, GM has a car, we have a car. And you can't tell the difference. Now, mine can drive itself, but people still don't realize it. But once my car can actually, like he said, a cat that can sing and dance, yeah, this car can sing and dance. You can ask it any question. It's going to be smarter than you. It can and give you all these features. Maybe that will be the differentiator. And all of a sudden, yeah, I agree with you. It'll be definitely a demand driver. And I do think it could actually happen by the end of this year. It depends, right? What if it's just an LLM in a car? Okay, big deal, right? I have my phone too. I can just ask the phone questions. I think it's got to have to be integrated, and that's the question, into the car, like controls, right? Raise the music and open the glove box. Then it's got to go even more than that. It's got to have, you have to have give it the eyes. It has to have access to my cameras, both inside and out. If it has access to the cameras, all of a sudden that's a game changer, because now it's like, tell me what you're seeing. And it says, oh, there's a McDonald's upcoming there. And this is the price of their smoothie there.
Right. Yeah, to fully integrate with all the controls, because even right now, like, the Tesla menu, there could be like 20, 30 items there. You just scroll down, have to go to different screens. Certain feature controls are difficult to get to. And if you can make that it's like talking again to like a butler or a chauffeur, where it's like someone who's really responsive to your needs. The Jarvis experience of, bring it all up and do everything. That kind of, like the Iron Man Jarvis interface.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you can get closer to that kind of experience and integrate visually. I say just doing a default, putting in an LLM is not full integration.
Do you think there will be full integration in this year?
I would be surprised if they don't have very complete integration to everything that's a button on the screen, because that seems like low-hanging fruit. If I already have all the buttons there, then to match up the voice control to be able to access that seems like this kind of system should be able to do that. What you're describing about like scanning everything outside and doing that.
Yeah, that's next year. Yeah,
that seems next year. Yeah,
for sure. I'd be very disappointed if in 2025 all this is just access to the LLM to talk to it. It's got to be integrated this year.
Right. And they should be speeding up the programming. And also, I'm still waiting for them to have a app add-on thing, because if they could validate other third parties making apps, then you have the App Store like thing from Apple, right? Where you can get that in. The question is, do you need it? But it's like tools. If I have a validated tool and I put it in there and it makes it better, then someone else doing it and adding it in, there would be an acceleration of 100, 1,000 different things that it can do. That would be a powerful ecosystem.
Can you imagine if this finally solves the stupid wiper issue, auto wipers? I mean, okay, finally, right? Because I could tell you, Grok will probably be able to do this. It's rating. It's not rating. That's not that hard.
Right.
It's not that hard.
Or lighting, viewing of seeing outside. Although if you're not driving, how much does it matter? But still, it's you may want to be aware of what's going on. You want and having those adjustments made, being better for other cars. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
AI. All right. More new cars, sell more cars.
Yeah. So then, the Grok for experience to do it, FSD, the more you can make it better, then you can again sell more cars.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
if it's something where the AI improves the product because of the user experience, because of the driving capabilities, that you can sell more cars, and it can also maybe help you make the new cars faster and better by speeding up certain things in development there to get to new cars, maybe new car models and that kind of stuff. And certainly, if you can make variations in electronics and sensors, there are um, certain variations in models that come from the components, electronics, and that kind of thing, where one, it can be fine tuned to what you want, but then two, it could make what comes out of the factory slightly more customized in an easier way, where it could, do something with supply chain to get to certain adaptations that could that can make it easier to release products that fit what people want. The firmness of seats or something. Again,
Yeah.
it's um, again, matching what the customer really wants is and being able to
Mm.
get what was too difficult, too time consuming, um,
Mm.
becomes easier to do.
That's
So
crazy.
again, it's something that it's difficult to see exactly where the uh, cost benefit optimization point is on that, but it could um, become a lot easier with an AI enabled supply chain factory. And like if you have a factory, like they already can do that where they make the cost of change very low, which is an advantage that Tesla has, where they can say, okay, I have a digital twin of this car, next car in line, I can make it different. And they can use to push that advantage of making
Yeah.
customization in the factory
Yeah,
to
this
what.
is a huge advantage already because lots of companies, like let's say Toyota and others, they have many factories. The factories are all there, but they're not as automated. And certainly BYD is a very good example. They're not automated at all. And they've talked about that. Teslas are already automated. Everything is as much as they can. That then gives these AIs have access to that entire factory, and then they can truly like understand the data input, but also suggestions out on what to
Mhm.
do. Whereas these other factories, they're like dumb phones, like whatever. They're
Right.
not that intelligent because they did not already implement all of that automation to
And
even
digital
build the seat.
twinning the factories where you're fully simulating the factory to figure out what changes can I make to get another 5% of production out of the factory. Because you're also like integrating from research straight through
Yeah.
to the end production.
So Brian, you had this point that Grok, so XA OpenAI is valued at 500 billion,
300 billion.
300 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're saying, well, if OpenAI is valued at 300 billion, now XAI, Elon Musk company, surpasses it.
Yeah.
You think that there maybe should be at 500 billion.
Yeah. So the difference. So I have XAI would have a better model, and certainly once they refine it a little bit more, we get the multimodal in a few months. They'll clearly the better model is theirs, and by Grok 5, hands down, wide gap and all that kind of stuff. So then the only difference that OpenAI has is that they do have 800 million people using the chat system.
Yeah. Yeah.
So XAI Grok only has 600 million ish per month using X, and then how many are using XAI? But they also have
Yeah.
Telegram. So once you're better in that, then it should be 500 billion. Certainly, there shouldn't be a
Yeah.
gap where it's a lot lower. I think 500 billion for XAI is certainly reasonable late this year, and then $1 trillion next year, and this should be ahead of where OpenAI's
Jesus.
valuation is.
It's just
And
crazy
then
because that means that the XAI could become much more valued than Tesla.
if Tesla doesn't get the robotaxi and other stuff rolled out properly, yes. If there is no huge surge, I'm expecting that to have a surge, but the rate of growth of XAI going to like a $5 trillion company could be faster than than the physical world stuff that Tesla's doing. But they're working together. So that goes to the real world AI, digital AI merging together. And that goes to some people suggesting XAI and Tesla need to merge because they are so much, twinned together in what they're doing. And then in terms of valuation, that they will be multiplying the valuation of SpaceX and Tesla because of how they're helping each other.
Yeah. If XAI did not exist, which could have easily have happened if Elon didn't decide 28 months ago to do this,
right.
Tesla would still succeed. They'd still make autonomy. They'd still make the bots. But now that they do have the smartest supercomputer, that's going to accelerate. You call it a multiplier to Tesla stock. And we just kind of tried to cover it as much as we could of what it could do. And there's so much we haven't talked about. New materials, new businesses. I've been talking about that at this point. Tesla using Grok 5, not Grok 7, could automatically create a brand new business, like business plan, software, email addresses, whatever. It can actually source the materials. Like I think one company used Grok 4 for vending machines, and they compare which LLM multimodal models can actually do the best in generating cash from these vending machines. And Grok 4 was double at $4,000 per week, whatever it was, against the latest one. Then in terms of actually running the business, right? Like actually buying the products, inventory.
Right. So that was on one of your X spaces. I hopped on and we were discussing who's the next CEO of Tesla and that kind of stuff. And I said Grok 5 is the next CEO. So in terms of, if the AI is super intelligent and better, then you want to have it do stuff. And if you have a fully automated factories, you have the Tesla bots, they're doing the unbox process, and others have made this point. You don't have to make just cars. You can make any product in the world. So that goes so like Amazon was, it's just selling books. No, it's not just selling cars. It's selling everything. It's making everything. And certainly, electronics heavy, customizing satellites. It's planes, other stuff. It's like the range of the production and manufacturing that you can do is unlimited.
So XAI's value goes up. Now XAI needs Tesla because they've run out of data. All of the LMs have run out of data. So now it's a race between who can get the data from the bots, cameras as they walk around the world, testing things, from the cars driving around the world. That's the only new data that no one has access to.
Right.
So they need that data. Tesla needs XAI because they need it for Grok to power and he's already said it's already part of the bot and it's already part of the cars, or it will be next week.
Right.
So they need that. So there's that perfect. XAI needs the data centers, the data warehouses to build the super intelligent computers, but then they need megapacks to power it and then they need solar some energy generation plus megapacks, of which Tesla will probably get into both of those. They already have the megapacks. So it's like this perfect combination. If not Tesla buying XAI, which I don't think they are, people have been saying that. I think that they need to have share ownership of each other.
Right. Because it's also, it's like trying to subdivide the United States economy or the world economy. It's like, okay, I'm going to shove all this into one company, all this into another company. And it's because everything is so integrated, intelligence, manufacturing, vehicle production. It's just energy, and it all needs to be, together. Keeping it split would be needlessly complicated, and it's open things up to the conflict of interest stuff. Board members. I chose to do this. Give these chips to this guy, not to that guy. It's I think a bad point of friction because you want, it's like taking the brain and putting it over here and then the body over there. It's just like it's
Right.
bad.
That's a very good analogy. It really is. Truly, XAI is the brain and Tesla is the body. And so
Right.
it's weird that you separate it out. But so you do think that XAI and Tesla should be merged?
Yes, I think they should be merged. Yeah. You can you can have some cross ownership thing. You can do it where they don't fully merge, but it seems like, and certainly once, before, we're talking about an ancient history of like 18 months ago and say, oh, invest $10 million, $50 million into it and then get a 10x or 100x return. It's, yes, Tesla become worth, many, many trillions and XAI worth many, many trillions, but it's that they need to be joined just because it's just, trying to keep them separated in any way, it's purposeless and just waste time.
Not interesting. So it's just a few, literally, let's say 28 months ago.
Right.
28 months ago, 2.5 months ago, 2.5 years ago, people would joke and laugh if you said Tesla 10 trillion.
Right.
And in 2.5 years, right, Elon Musk created XAI, and now you're estimating $500 billion. Okay, 300 billion, whatever. 300 billion, 500 billion.
Right.
We're talking $500 billion in just 2 years, and no one's blinking an eye at this point if you go, oh, XAI will, or OpenAI and all these will be worth $1 trillion company.
Right.
It's pretty almost a given that that's what you have, the superintelligence. These things can create new material, new physics.
Right.
Now, what you're saying is, okay, you take that and then you apply it to Tesla. Tesla 10 trillion doesn't sound so stupid anymore. We're at 1 trillion today.
Right.
To get to 10 trillion, it's like the possibility is it's a lot easier to understand that it could happen versus just waving it away saying that's an impossibility.
And also the fact that, we haven't even talked about Dojo chips, AI5, AI6, all that kind of stuff, that if they succeed with Dojo 2 and 3, then they're direct competitors to TSMC and NVIDIA.
And NVIDIA's already 4 trillion.
Right, 4 trillion. I'm thinking NVIDIA is going to be 10 trillion in 2-3 years.
For sure. Yeah.
Right. So then,
not for sure, but yes, it sounds
and then
possible.
If you have Dojo 3, that's competitive, and then you're buying
couple
them
trillion there.
And a couple trillion there. That's right.
Couple trillion there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's something.
And then
where,
but the other thing is that they're not just GPUs.
right.
Tesla is the full thing. So they're going to create. And did you see that post that got? I think it was, or somebody said something like this: like, if Tesla can create energy generation, solar, then you got your mega packs, then you have your AI data centers, and let's say it's powered by Dojo or other chips. That data warehouse, you could sell that. That's Tesla's AWS.
Right.
They can sell that. So that's the business that they're going to create, is create those data, energy generation, supercompute, and then sell that. And that is
it's like
much more than 4 trillion for the chips. They just sell you the GPUs, but you need to create everything else. And Tesla's like, I'll create it all, and then sell you access to it.
Right. It becomes like the whole electrical grid. It's like the oil industry of the Industrial Revolution. These are the the highways and everything else that are the foundational aspects of the entire future economy. Yeah. So it just
Thank you. Appreciate you. You're always the person we turn to talk about the future. And you came out with these, proof that these patents out there for FSD, for real world physics. This is Grok 4, and you came up with some ideas of how it's going to impact Tesla and XAI is going to grow. Thank you very much, Brian. Check him out at nextbigfuture.com and check him out on his website, nextbigfuture.com, and his X handle as well. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com.